Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Window Shopping. It is warm outside. I hope you are staying cool in Southern California this Friday. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm staying cool. I'm relaxing here in Long Beach. This is Window Shopping, and it's the show where we take a look at some really cool houses on the market, and we talk a little bit about the things that might not really be in the MLS or things that you might be interested in knowing about the houses. My name is Stephen Meade with Domicile Real Estate for people who love houses. Thank you for joining us. We're going to go ahead and get started. Last week, we did feature a home that was over $2 million, and I promised that this week we would talk about something that was a little bit more attainable. And that's exactly what we are going to do. We're going to talk about the best example, I think, really that's come up in the last couple of years of a home that really is ubiquitous throughout not only the San Fernando Valley, but really the rest of Southern California. You can find these homes dotted all across cities in Southern California. They were built as entry-level mid-century modern homes. And while this one is priced a little bit under $1.2 million, I don't know if that is entry-level. I think in the LA market, that does count as an attainable property. So let's go ahead and get started. And let me introduce you to 6270 Lubao Avenue in Woodland Hills. This is in the Corbin Palms neighborhood. And this is a home designed by the architecture firm of Palmer and Krisel in the mid-1950s. If that name sounds familiar, Palmer and Krisel or William Krisel designed a lot of homes out in Palm Springs in the 1960s. So you might have seen some of his work out there. This one is a particularly interesting example for a bunch of reasons. So, as I mentioned, we're priced under $1.2 million at 1,566 square feet. This one is a pretty good sized property. It's a little bit bigger than most of these. And the other thing that really is especially interesting about this one, this is not our listing. This is listed by Craig Terrien of Coldwell Banker Realty. This is actually Craig's own house. Craig is probably one of the foremost experts in Palmer and Krisel homes in the San Fernando Valley. I don't think anybody knows more about them than him. With that said, we would still love to represent you as a buyer, and you always want to have your own representation as a buyer. I'm a firm believer in that. But let's go ahead and talk about this house and why this is the best example of one of these. And I'm going to start off with the first picture, and we're going to take a look at something that you don't see on this house. And the thing that you don't see here is you don't see a typical garage door. These homes were built with carports, but a lot of people built them into garages and enclosed them. And if you do that, one of the problems is you kind of eliminate this great little screening element. The wall doesn't run the whole way. These houses have a certain light feel to them. And I think when you enclose that garage door, it creates a rather imposing front, and it kind of ruins a little bit of the design. If you can look back this way, you can really get sort of a good idea of that, is how this carport sort of integrates with the design of the house. If this were just a big flat garage door, I don't think it would have the same effect. The other thing I want to talk about with this house is this one, when you enter, they have parquet floors pretty much in a good portion of this home. And I don't know if that was the original flooring option for this particular house, but it's a great almost throwback option. It has a certain classic, timeless look to it, and it's an organic material. Sometimes, with modern homes, I think people make them a little bit too sterile. This home still has much of the original windows and doors, and that's especially important for things like this sliding glass door here. One of the things you'll notice is something that you frankly do not notice on more modern and contemporary homes, and that is, look at how thin the framing is on this door. And I think that fundamentally changes the sight lines when you're looking through these windows. It helps these windows really disappear into the wall. You've got open beam ceilings, as you did in many of the Palmer and Krisel homes built throughout the valley. By the way, if you live in Orange County, these homes were built in Fullerton. Even though this is still LA County, it is adjacent to Orange County. That is La Mirada, has a number of these homes. And then when you look back at this view, I think this really gives you a unique look. And this home has something else about it that's a little bit different. And that is most of the Palmer and Krisel homes were built in kind of a landscape orientation where the home was wide and facing the street. This one was built in more of a portrait orientation where the front door is at the end of this gable wall, opening into the living room. That's a little bit unique. As I mentioned, most of them were the other way. You've got this cool little bookshelf wall right when you enter. And there's something else about this house, and you can't really tell from this picture. But if you want to know whether, so there's a good chance that something is a Palmer and Krisel home, an easy way to tell is that the roof line and the roof pitch is actually asymmetric. So in most homes, you've got a roof line that looks like this, and the slope of each half of the roof is the same, but not on these homes. So you'll notice this section here, where I'm moving my pointer, is considerably longer than this section here, which has a steeper pitch. It's kind of one of those classic sort of telltale elements of a Palmer and Krisel design. We've got a cool little bar area set up here in this living room that you can see, kind of a cool little element, dining space. And then back here, you've actually got kind of a side yard door that goes outside there. Another living dining room view. You've got a kitchen space back here where you actually have a little bit of an eating and a breakfast nook. This is a great kitchen remodel in this house because it's modern, and I think in a lot of ways it feels like how these houses might be built if they were built today. But at the same time, it feels like, it's contemporary and offers all the features you want, but it also feels like it matches the design of the house. And that's really hard to get that right. So very nice kitchen design, very great job, Craig. You've also got built-in washer and dryer under the counter here. Another nice touch. This is the primary bedroom. This one is actually larger than it is in most of these homes. Most of these homes, the wall would end like right about here, and it would be considerably narrower. This one is a little bit bigger and gives you a little bit more room than typical. You've got a slider which goes out to the backyard. We're going to talk about that in a second. Dual closets, which in a home from this era, 1955, is huge. This home is just over 1,550 square feet. I think it's like 1,566. You've got kind of a cool office space in here, again, with access to the backyard. Most of the secondary bedrooms in these homes do have that backyard access or a full height window like this one. Another great large space in a bedroom that you've got here. Again, that's where the extra space really shows up in this house. You've got a secondary bathroom here, lovely remodel. And then you've got this great backyard that I think offers something that every one of our clients asks for, but people can rarely afford, and that is privacy. Between the bamboo, you'll notice this home has zones in the backyard, right? This is the area where you eat outside. This is the area where you lounge outside. And I think having this kind of a zoned backyard really makes a lot of sense in a house like this. And then you've also got this yard space here, which really is just quite beautifully landscaped, and it's grown in. Mature landscaping is not easy to come by, and it's absolutely beautiful here to see the work that's been done. Got a nice little sitting area. The other thing I want you to notice is how little you're seeing of neighboring houses when you look at this yard. To have that in Woodland Hills at this price point below $1.2 million is pretty much unheard of. This lot is over 8,000 square feet. I think if you wanted a pool, if you wanted some other amenities, that's totally possible to add into a home like this as well. I mean, this is just really a great example of one of these houses. I'm a big fan of these houses. I think they make a lot of sense for people who are kind of looking for that first mid-century modern home. They're looking, maybe they have a condo that they've made some money on. Maybe they're more affluent first-time home buyers. But this is kind of that thing that gets you into a house that really, at this size range, this home is going to be good for somebody for 5 to 10 years in most cases. It's a size up from those 1,200 square foot houses, and really kind of a cool opportunity. So if you are interested in this house, or frankly, if you're interested in cool houses in general, or you have a cool house that you'd like to sell, absolutely reach out to us. We would love to work with you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.